Hello, welcome back to the Auto Intuitive. I'm Isaac, and it is a beautiful day outside. I'm out in the desert, as you can see. There's a freeway. So here we have an X5 50E 2024 LCI, meaning life cycle impulse. So it has a different front end here, more squinty than, let's say, a 2021. The change happened in 2023, and this one's a hybrid. So the reason why I'm doing the X5 hybrid is because I think this might be the best hybrid of all cars at this time. Let me explain. So this car gets 40 miles on electric range, and it has 483 horsepower, 516 pound-feet when the engine and the electric motor both start. When they're working together, let's say that. But when it's by itself, well, you have a 200 horsepower motor and a 200 horsepower, 200 pound-feet around electric motor, which is enough to get you to 40 miles an hour within traffic, nice and easy. But the reason why I'm doing the X5 hybrid is because I think this is the best BMW out right now. As you can see, I'm parked on, you can't see how rough this is or how uneven it is. But if I was in an M car, I wouldn't be able to be out here driving around on dirt. But because I'm in a sports activity vehicle, I feel comfortable. Being an SUV, more ground clearance. I have about 8.25 ground clearance. I have a tow hitch down there that can tow 7,200 pounds. And there's our 50E badge. So it used to be called a 45E. The 45E had 18 miles of range. It had 382 horsepower, 389 horsepower, 442 pound-feet of torque. This has 516 pound-feet of torque and 483 horsepower. So it's about 100 horsepower more and a ton more torque and more range on electric drive. It's perfection. And you're not really searching for the power when you're driving in town, like most electric cars. It feels absolute. And as you could see, this car actually is the X line, but because it's white, the LCI looks really great without an M Sport package. So this is just the standard X5. And I think it looks like the headlights here look almost like they have the shadow line from the M Sport. Of course, if you do get an M Sport package, this grille down here is a lot more aggressive, and you get these cowls around the wheels, the plastic right here, which means it's a sports activity vehicle. All that is one color. And of course the silver around the windows is blacked out as well. You also will get black side mirrors for the M Sport package. And there is a V8 version of this car, and there is a normal 6-cylinder version, but this one 45E has the inline 6, and you know it's a hybrid because you can see this door right here, and not just the door, but this badge right here. Oh, you see how tiny it's written? It says electrified by I. You can see there. So that's also silver, which means that this is an X line, so the standard the standard trim of the car. So what else is going on? Up front, you still have the inline 6, which, let me open this hood for you, because this car is still a sports car. So you have BMW's greatest. Pull twice, as I do in every other video. Remember, this video is going to be 10 minutes long max. I pulled twice because you just pick up the hood. And ta-da! There's our engine. It looks nice and clean under here. This car barely has any miles on it, by the way, and I got it out here on the dirt. Yeah. So there's our washer fluid. The difference between under the hood on this and a normal X5, you can see the orange cables there, which means high voltage. It means do not touch. But the reason why I opened this hood is because of the engine and it's sitting the right way. This is an inline 6, BMW's bread and butter, silky smooth. This is why this car is unbeatable, because there's really no hybrid with a inline 6 up front that has about 500 horsepower and 500 pound-feet. Every other hybrid out here is basically a 4-cylinder, including the Volvos that I deal with as well. And if we're talking Porsches, now you're talking a whole other realm of pricing. You have, there we go, bracing, extra bracing, sports car stuff. But I just wanted to show you the engine because it's still spectacular under here. So to close this, there it goes. Nice and sturdy. There's the car there in the sun. Out here it's frozen. It's about 50 degrees outside. It's not that cold actually. And this color is Alpine White Metallic, I believe. It looks great in white. And if you drive a long journey, it's perfection. You don't care about it get it dirty. It's nice and quiet inside. And the X5 is the only one as well that comes standard with air suspension, by the way. So let's get in the driver's seat because you have the iDrive 8. You have the big old screens here on the dash. And you could hear the Hans Zimmer came on, just like the electric cars. So the hybrid has Hans Zimmer as well. Let me turn this steering wheel. There we go. Pause the music so we don't get a copyright. So when you turn on the hybrid, you could see up here, our gauges are different than on a fully electric car or a gas car. The blue markings, so you can see the blue markings as we went over in other videos, that's where this side is miles per hour. You do still get a digital speedo in the middle, but this blue marking says that max speed is what, 83 miles an hour? And if I do put the car in electric, now my max speed went up to 93 miles an hour that I can do maximum speed. So I'm basically trying to waste my electric as much as I can. But hybrid's the best way to drive this car. And over here you could see by your right foot, this needle moves with your right foot, and when it gets to this black area, the engine will turn on. But this needle goes down when you're braking. So when you're braking, it goes down to the charge, and you know it says ready when the car is on, because the car, if the car isn't on, it'll say off, yada yada. But here's our big screen here, the iDrive 8, so I have a car with the iDrive 7. There's this is an iDrive 8.5, sorry. We skipped an iDrive 8 before we got to 8.5, which is this one. It just came out mid this year, 2024, and the big boys got it first. So the big old Beamers got it first, the X7, X5, and yeah, every other, the 7 series, the 5 series, the new 5 series has it. But the iDrive 8.5, things remain permanent in the background. I still prefer the 7 where you have the tiles and you have this list here. I think I've said that a few times. This swiping thing, yes, they tried to figure it out, but because I hang out with 80-year-olds sometimes that buy this car, sometimes the people that buy this car are not into this whole tech thing, and this multi-page thing is a little bit confusing. You have to tell them that there are white dots, and you could go from side to side on some of them. Look at that. How confusing is that? Look at this too. You could have 2 maps going at the same time, which is just crazy, right? Anyways, and then you could, over here you could have this be permanent in the background. You could have whatever you want in the background permanently. And my favorite, content, because we're in a hybrid, so you have an adaptive view and you have X view. So we're in adaptive. If I click here, how do I get in there? Yeah, we'll figure that out later. You could tell I drive an iDrive 7, right? If I drove an iDrive 8, this would have been easier for me to get along with. But certain things, when you drive the car every day, you just do it without even thinking. Anyways, part of this car's greatest features are the personal assistant, which is this button, because it has 5G as well. So this car, you could speak to it. You could speak to the personal assistant in a fluid-like, natural way. And it has an online speech processing for your requests. And you could click here and it'll do an introduction for the personal assistant. By the way, when you have Apple CarPlay going, it takes up this whole screen. It's amazing. There is no other hybrid that beats this. I've come to those terms because I see, 58 miles per gallon here. Could drive it on fully electric for 39 miles. This car, for the price, it's $76,000. And yes, cars are pretty pricey out here. 50 grand is for a regular car now. But this car only has the park assistance package added, as you can see there, for $900. And then heated front seat, $350, trailer hitch, $650, Harman Kardon, $875. The standard features have gotten a lot better because now it has backup assistance standard, which is what I like to pay attention to. And also your driver assistance are standard, of course, because this is basically a 5 Series picked up off the ground. It better have blind spot and front of collision. Otherwise, nobody will buy it. And you also have park distance control. Another thing I see here are heated front power sports seats and a panoramic moonroof and rain sensing wipers. Anyways, yeah, what beats this? Let's put it in sport. See, there's my engine. And it does sound great. And then this screen over here goes to Mordor. As you can see, it's nice and red now theme. And the car sounds deep. I'm wondering if that's a bit of... it's definitely a bit of speaker noise. Because on the outside, it's pretty quiet. Go ahead and turn it off here. And the cool part about this hybrid is that unlike a Prius, you could choose to have it in sport and use both. You could leave it in hybrid and have it choose. You could put it in electric. There you have your hill descent control button going downhill. You also have a battery control button, so you could choose to not use the battery, which is what I actually advise when you're in the middle of nowhere, is to turn on the engine. So when you're on the freeway, puttering along, you know, like those people up there on that freeway, you want to have the engine on and to stop the electric from interfering, because an electric car tries really hard on the freeway. Oh, look, there's some moo-moos. It tries really hard on the freeway. A gas car is barely trying. So it's barely breathing. It can adjust the elevation. So if you want to hold your battery, this is the button. And when you press it, orange light came on. And it says battery hold. Charge is maintained. So that's what you want to do when you're on the freeway doing about 55 miles an hour or more, and you're at a constant RPM. You're really trying to reach for the top peak of your miles per gallon, because this car gets 58 miles per gallon combined, and you can see there it shows you how much gallons per hour you're eating. If you hit this BC on the end, see this BC button right there, it means board computer. Oh, there it goes, it went away. So I'll hit BC, gallons per hour. So since individual, so that's since you did it by yourself and for this trip. So every day you could start over, and it shows you the trip of how long you've driven every day. So far I've driven 2.4 miles, huh? Interesting. And then you have another one there, since refueling, yada yada. Since charging, 14 miles. I'm actually going to charge it here. You can see our miles here at the bottom. We have 12, but I got the car when it was at 17. And over there, you have 426 in the corner. So this is a combination of this and your gas. So that includes your electric and your gas, that 426. Okay. So I'm done with this video. What's the best hybrid out there at this time? What car would you choose to drive across the country in right now? What has safety? What's a safe car? What is a sports car? And what's a luxury car? When you think about those three things in one, nothing beats this car at this time. Everything else is a 4-cylinder in it. 4-cylinders trying really hard. This car just became better. It didn't really sacrifice anything. And it looks superb. But let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you until next time. Let's do a 7 Series next, I guess.